it's Steph and welcome back. I am officially in Italy. We've been here the past 2 days and I have not had a second to just sit down and just explain everything that's been going on. We're in Venice right now. We're staying at the JW Marriott, which is actually on its own island right next to Venice. So our view right now is just of Venice right here. And they have this shuttle bus, a boat that leaves every half hour that takes you straight into Piazza San Marco, which is the most well-known piazza and the church and everything. So everything's been amazing. This resort is absolutely insane. I will definitely go deeper into detail when we get a second, but we're just going to explore for the morning. We have a spa appointment later and all that fun stuff. Our dinner last night was actually, oh my God, it was amazing. It was on the island on, is it JW, but it's from this really famous chef and it was a tasting menu and oh my goodness, I had an orgasm in my mouth. It was amazing. Very pricey, but absolutely amazing. The best food I've ever tasted in my entire life. So if you're coming here, it's called Dopolavoro. Definitely do not let the price scare you. Just it's an experience. They give you on a whole tour of the restaurant, and each plate is explained to you. It's just, oh my goodness, it's such an experience, and all of the ingredients are local, from even grown on the JW's little island thing. It's so impressive. It's amazing. It tasted to die for. And we're going to get on our little shuttle boat now. We're going to just do some sightseeing, hopefully see the floating bookstore that's at the top of our list. And then we have a lunch reservation and then some spa appointments and dinner. And let's go explore Venice. everyone. I am now in Portofino coast in Italy, and I'm really excited to be here. It's been like a lot of work the past like week and a half. That's why I haven't really been able to like sit down and actually talk about every little thing that's going on throughout the day. So that's what I'm doing now, because I actually have a few moments before we have to go to dinner. We are absolutely exhausted, which I already knew. I know Italy, when you're doing the sightseeing stuff, it's a lot of work, especially when you want to like make the most of your trip and you want to see as much as possible. So our first night, we stayed in Milan for the night, and we stayed at the Hyatt Centric, and highly recommend that hotel. The air conditioning was on point. The bed was so comfortable. The room was the perfect size that you need it to be. It's literally 2 blocks from the train station, and it's very easy to grab a cab to go wherever you need to go. And it was just, the staff was really friendly. There's restaurants there. It was decorated really cool. So if anyone's looking to stay near the Milano Centrale, that would be a great hotel to stay at. And then the next morning, we got up and took the train to Venice, where we stayed at the JW. And that hotel was on, they call it Isola delle Rose, and that hotel was on its own island. We actually learned that these little islands that are around Venice were created for people who got sick. And that specific island where this Marriott hotel is in Venice was for the people of Venice who got sick, who had breathing issues. So the air is supposed to be really fresh and really good over there. And it was, oh my goodness, it was stunning. The hotel staff was so friendly. The food was amazing. They have an almost Michelin-starred tasting restaurant there called Dopo Lavoro, and it was probably the best food I've ever had in my entire life. I don't remember if I already said this on here, but you're hearing it again. There was just so much to do there. There is a rooftop pool where you can see all of Venice. They have a shuttle that takes you directly to San Marco, which is where you want to be. So it's very convenient, and it runs every half hour. So you don't have to book it, reserve it, or anything. You just show up when you want to go, and they take you, and they just operate during certain hours. Their spa was absolutely amazing and fantastic. Because it's on its own island, you're not going to like a basement or something like that within the resort. The resort is like, there's just so much there. There's so much to do. Everything is locally grown on the premises, and that's what they're using to cook. And we even did a cooking class. That was super fun. And it was just a lot of walking and a lot of food that we ate, but it was delicious. But I'll go deeper into exactly what we ate and what restaurants and things like that at another time. But okay, so we stayed about 3 nights there, and then we took the train to Lake Como, and we stayed in Tramezzo Cadenabbia. We couldn't get a room at the Grand Hotel Tramezzo, which has gone viral on TikTok. My cousin actually stayed there, and she absolutely loved it. So based on her recommendation, we wanted to stay there as well. But the only room available was a suite for €6,000 a night. So we were like, maybe not this time. So we stayed about a 5-minute walk away. Oh, someone's calling. Okay, back. So yes, we went to Lake Como. We were there for 2 nights, and we only really got to, it's a little tricky how to navigate Lake Como, and it was a lot of work. So we stayed at the Grand Hotel Cadenabbia, which is a 4-star hotel. It was very decent. It has everything that you would really want. It was more of a traditional styled Italian hotel rather than like the JW and the Hyatt Centric, which were very modern and very similar to American hotels.
that you would see. So this one was a little bit more traditional. The room was a bit small, but we had this beautiful balcony, more like a terrace with little table and chairs and a beautiful view of the lake. I really loved the location. I loved the terrace that we had attached to our room, and it is perfect walking distance to the ferry, which is how you get around Lake Como. It also was right next to a couple of little bar shops where you could get a sandwich or coffee, and it was also about a 3 to 5 minute walk from the Grand Hotel Tramezzo. So the location was perfect. It was pretty quiet. It was so beautiful, like absolutely beautiful. But the air conditioning wasn't the best. I don't think it worked at all. And the room could have had a little bit more amenities. It could have maybe had a coffee machine in it. It didn't. It just had like a hot water kettle with instant coffee. Every little thing that we could ever need, we would get charged for. The staff wasn't as friendly and warm. There wasn't sort of like this sense of community there. We got there a little late in the evening, about 8 o'clock, and I had made previously 9:30 reservations for the dinner, and when we went up to the dinner, there was no one to really check that there was a reservation, and they were a little annoyed that like we were there like so late. But I mean, people eat dinner at 8:30 typically in Italy, or 9 o'clock, and it doesn't typically end for 2-3 hours. So I don't know, we just felt like there was a little bit of an attitude with that. But the food itself was really, really delicious. So that ended up being fine. The breakfast was included. It was nothing special. It was just like the bare minimum, but it was nice that that was included. And then we just spent the day in Bellagio, which looks like a storybook. We wanted to do Verona and then Bellagio, but getting to Verona was very complicated. We couldn't figure out exactly what ferry to take, and there wasn't one coming from where we were, and it was just too difficult. But what we did end up doing was a boat tour. We did a 3-hour boat tour with Bellagio Sailing. Love them. And it was definitely pricey. The private tours in Lake Como they primarily go out from Bellagio, and they are typically very expensive, but this one included 2 bottles of Prosecco, some appetizers and soft drinks, and we had a photographer take pictures, and the owner of the company did our tour, and he was very knowledgeable. He grew up there. He told us all the history. He brought us to Verona. He brought us to see Villa Balbianello, which is a really famous villa. He showed us all the villas and all the different parts of Lake Como and all of the history behind it. So even though it was super hot and it gave me this really weird tan line because of the dress I was wearing, you can check out my Instagram pictures to see what dress I'm talking about. But I have this really strange tan line that's really ugly from that. It was super hot, and he also dropped us off right in front of our hotel, which was great because getting around Lake Como is not easy. I'm also going to go into more detail about that in another video, but it's a lot of walking, a lot of stairs, a lot of climbing, a lot of hills. It was not the easiest to navigate to get around necessarily. It wasn't like in Venice where everything is pretty much on one little area, and so it's either 10 minutes this way, 20 minutes this way, or 15 minutes this way, and it's like a maze, but you're pretty much going to end up in the same spot. So it wasn't really like that in Bellagio. So I'm happy that we got to see all the different parts that we weren't able to get there ourselves through the tour. So I got that off of recommendation through the Facebook group, and I just asked what is the best boat tour in Lake Como, and a bunch of people said Bellagio Sailing. So I can attest to that. They did a fabulous job. So if you want more information on that, I'm definitely going to make another video going more in depth about our experience. So then we were there for 2 nights, and this morning, we had breakfast on the lake. It was so beautiful. And then we had a cab driver take us to the train station. We were on the train for about 2.5 hours and ended up in Portofino, Santa Margherita, Liguria. And we had the hotel pick us up from there and drive us here. And we are so happy. We're at the Grand Hotel Bristol, and so far it has been very impressive. We've only been here for a few hours, but this is like exactly what we needed after all of the walking and trekking. Like, my feet and my ankles have literally swollen up to like 4 times the size they actually are. So we're really happy to be here. The room is amazing. The staff is amazing. The air conditioning is amazing. We have a little balcony. They have an L-shaped pool overlooking the Portofino coast. They have all these amenities. We get to be at the spa for 3 hours a day. They even came up and brought us some water for the evening. And when we had all these welcome amenities, they gave us a glass of rosé. Portofino's famous for focaccia and pesto, so we got that as a little welcome. We got a whole tour of the hotel, and then when we got to our room, they brought our bags here, and we had some desserts and a whole bottle of Prosecco waiting for us. And everyone and everything, they're so eager to help, and they're so eager to provide things for you, which is amazing. So we did book the Dolce Vita package, and I love that they have like these packages there because it's really making the experience. So if you go on their website, you'll see everything, but I believe off the top of my head it includes the access to the spa, breakfast, a cab service to and from wherever you want. They call it a transfer. So if we want to go to Portofino, they'll drive us there in a Mercedes and pick us up whenever we want. And I'm trying to think what else it includes. I can't think off the top of my head what I said. Oh, 2 20-minute massages at the spa and access to the spa every day for 3 hours. And yeah, so far everything's amazing. We are going to eat really soon at their really famous restaurant. Also has a tasting menu, and I cannot wait to eat everything and just like relax, because this is what I plan. I put it in my head when I was making my itinerary. Like Portofino, I didn't want to plan too much, and I wanted it to be like the relaxing part of the vacation, because so far not too much has been relaxing, and my ankles are swollen to the size of my head. So I will show you guys around more, and I cannot wait. We just got back from, let me go this way so there's light. We just got back from an evening in Portofino specifically, and it was beautiful and amazing, but we came back to the most like stunning turn down service that I wanted to show you guys. Listen, because tipping, well, this is a travel tip for Europe, because tipping culture is not what it is in the US, giving just like €1 or 2 with a little note, wanting things, they like got your back. Look here. They gave us all these extra espresso pods. They even gave us a little rug with slippers out here and turned down our bed. We have water with cups and coasters. This did not happen last night. We have all this water here, and even, don't mind all this luggage, guys. And right here I have my own. How cute is that? Shout out to the maid service at Grand Hotel Bristol in Rapallo. Grazie mille.
but yes, there is construction going on down there. But you can't see it when you have this like little thingy over here. But we're getting ready to check out and go to the airport. And Millie said, because I love Europe and I love Italy,